Video unavailable. Why is it doing this? Can anybody see me? Can anyone see me? Because I don't see myself. It says the video is unavailable. Okay. See, my live feed is screwing up. Where I'm supposed to be live, where I can see myself, it just says this video is unavailable. That's why I like logged out. But apparently, you guys can see me. So anyway, if you guys can see me, then yeah, I'm sure it's recording. So today we want to discuss our conjunction of Mars and Ketu, and Mars being in Capricorn, literally for a long, long time. I mean, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 7 months. Because I believe from May 2nd to November 3rd, it's going to be in Capricorn, and Mars is going to be retrograde from June 26th to August 27th as well. And the thing is, Mars is conjunct Ketu, the south node of the moon. And Ketu and Mars are very much alike. They're both like cutting things, stabbing things, poking things. Both represents sharpness. The edge of the knife, the edge of the sword, and even metaphorically, they're sharp. Meaning, like, you know how a soldier is sharp. Soldier will get up at certain time, will do its workout at a certain time, will be disciplined. That's sharpness in a person. So obviously Mars is kind of both Mars and Ketu are sharpening this sharpness. So the sharpness is like the, remember that movie The Kung Fu Panda, where he touches that, like the invisible blade, and he gets cut just from being far away. That's how it is. It is like very, very aggressive thing, aggressive energy. Because what's happening is that Mars, when it comes in Capricorn, obviously it's common knowledge that Mars is exalted. Mars, it's at its highest peak. Mars loves to defend in Capricorn. Mars wants to protect things in Capricorn. Mars is willing to kill in Capricorn. Mars becomes not aggressive, but confident. The aggressiveness is like a bully. A bully who's a coward has to show aggressiveness because, hey, look at my aggression. You don't want to mess with me. Where Mars is more like, uh, you know, uh, Bruce Lee. Mars in the exaltation is like, what do you call IP man? Just calm, cool, collective. But if something comes, boom, just like with one hand taking care of the fight. So usually Mars is very, very strong energy. It helps us with our will towards whichever house Mars is placed in, from the ascendant or the moon. Because you want to look at the transit of planets from the ascendant as well as the moon. From the ascendant, it's called a transit. From the moon, it's called gochar. Gochar meaning the events of, or the past life karmic debt is being paid off, is being given to the moon. The bill is giving to the moon. That, hey moon, here's the bill that you have to pay. Or here's the credit that you're receiving from past. From the ascendant, it's what our action is in this present life. It's something that we are willing to deal with. We are willing to focus towards and control. From the moon, it is just going to give the results that it's supposed to give. So always look at it from the ascendant and the moon. One is a transit, one is a gochar. So Mars is this, disciplined energy. It's at its highest peak. But now it's conjunct Ketu. Ketu, which is a very unpredictable, sharp energy of Mars. So Mars will warn you that, hey, be careful before you bully me, because I will beat your ass. I'm not like anyone here. So, I'm warning you, do not, you know, bully these kids here, because I will come after you. So a warning comes in with Mars. What Ketu is, Ketu sits quietly. You can keep bullying Ketu and all that, and suddenly Ketu will take the knife, slash the throat. That's it. It's the end. Unpredictable, never said anything, kept observing, observing, observing in silence, and gave it no warning. Now you have these two titans, you know, these two mirror images together. And usually, what they say in Capricorn, whenever Mars and Ketu are in Capricorn, this is the time where one should avoid surgeries. So, if one is having surgery, avoid it. If you have to get a surgery, if it's a must you get a surgery, it's better like when the moon is transiting the nakshatra of Ashlesha, nakshatra of Rohini, nakshatra of Swati, and there's three other nakshatras. But obviously, the chart has to be seen because for some people, definitely no surgery. Some for other people, fine, get it because it's not transiting, in a certain way, or your ascendant is very friendly to Mars and Ketu. So it all depends. But usually, if it's like a planned surgery, it's better to schedule it afterwards, especially the retrograde of Mars from June to August. See, that's where the bravery of Mars will be mistaken for aggression. Mars itself, when it's retrograde, is like a soldier who's trying to protect but just ends up innocently hitting someone, killing someone. And especially with Ketu, obviously on the mundane level, there will be bloodsheds. Mars is blood. Ketu is wounds. So there will be that. And metaphorically speaking, this conjunction can definitely bring about uh, aggressive behavior in the house that is transiting on an individual basis. So, for example, we'll take the uh, Jataka Kundali, meaning we'll use the Aries as the ascendant for everybody in general, regardless of what your ascendant is. You can always look at a transit just from the Aries being the ascendant, which means this transit is now occurring in the 10th house from Aries in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn represents the jungle. Capricorn represents the world outside, where you fight for your karmas, where you perform your karmas. So, what happens now? Because 10th house also represents authority, bosses, government. This shows that one will become this, have this aggressive behavior, this aggressive interaction with the bosses. On a mundane level, everybody will be agitated with their professional co-workers. There will be fights within the office. There will be a lot more bickering. Now, someone will say, well, of course, there's always politics happening, always something happening. But this time, the way you can notice it, this is why you have to observe things. People who would never get into any altercation, never get into any backstabbing, will become a part of it, even especially if they're not aware of this. If they're not aware of this movement in the sky, they will automatically won't be aware of it, and they will become part of it. This is why it's so important to know astrology. It's not to predicting future or past. That is very secondary. Astrology is all about awareness. Awareness of the present. I am here talking to you in subconscious mind, and my present mind, I know that Ketu is conjunct Mars. Okay, it's conjunct Mars in this particular placement, in this particular sign and house. Okay, that means this is going to be the result. So automatically what happens, we tend to always, our soul, our consciousness automatically takes precautions. Like, okay, so I'm supposed to be going to, let's say if you go to any concerts, you go to any, to watch any sports games in an arena, you will automatically be aware that, okay, I shouldn't be showing such an aggressive behavior, because what you will notice, fans will get into fight with each other near the arena. You are already noticing this in NBA playoffs. which I already said, with Saturn being in the nakshatra of Purvashada in the sign of Sagittarius. Unnecessary fights. Since Mars has came in, literally players and fans, just type in NBA fans on Google. You will see how players, NBA players and fans are aggressively going after each other, taking away, throwing the cell phone away, throwing their elbow towards the fan. So when you go out in public, this is the period where you have to be aware that unnecessarily this aggression will come, especially if you have a planet in Capricorn and these planets are going over a certain planet. This is where you really have to be aware of that planet that is being going over, whether it's Sun, Moon, Mars, Venus, Mercury. And especially when it's retrograde, that is when you will really see that unnecessary aggressive behavior, unnecessary cutthroat attitude towards our professional colleagues, bosses to employees, employees to bosses. At the same time, Mars is going to be going through, the nakshatra of Dhanishta, or I'm sorry, Uttara Ashada, Dhanishta, and Sattabhishak. Oh, no, no, no. I'm sorry. It's going to be Uttarashada, Saravan, and then Dhanishta. And so obviously right now, every single person on a mundane level will feel like that they're undefeated. Oh, let's go for it. Let's do this. Who cares? We'll win. That's going to be the attitude. When it's in the Saravan side, you're going to slip. You are going to make a silly mistake and you're going to fall and slip. And especially in Dhanishta, you will see, especially countries which are dominated by Dhanishta, like US moon is in Dhanishta, the real estate market will be in upheaval. You will also notice a lot of musicians will get into fight and aggression in Mars and Capricorn, especially Dhanishta side. Like you can see the behavior, like the Kanye West thing that is happening, but I'm talking about especially when it's transiting that Dhanishta side. You're going to see musicians get into fights with each other, fights with fans. But this is the particular conjunction that once you are aware of that, okay, this is occurring and this is what I need to watch out for. This is actually the time where people who are not aggressive, people who are not, so dominating, can find that strength to finish their project. They're like, okay, this is happening. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. So in a way, it's a very good conjunction for people who are not very aggressive, who are not very, go-getters. That go-getter mentality will be there in whichever house that it's occurring in. From the moon, whichever house it's occurring in, it automatically is going to give you that result. But especially like you notice, with Saturn being retrograde, you saw North Korea and South Korea coming together, right? We're like, oh my God, Saturn is supposed to creating war, it's creating peace. But guess what? That's only temporary. Saturn is behaving outside of its context. It's retrograde. Saturn is supposed to be bringing war. It is, but it's also doing things in reverse. It is going back and it's giving this complete reversal of results. So this whole North Korea, South Korea coming together for peace and all that, as soon as it goes direct, tension will rise again. Shit will happen again. There will be. It's not gonna be. This is just. It's like a. It's like a little illusion that you're seeing with the retrograde of Saturn. And especially this is the period also where if you are, let's say, a soldier, Let's say you're a soldier, you're registered with the Indian Army, US Army, you can be called upon to go somewhere in this period, to shed blood somewhere. And as much as, a soldier has to abide by the laws of the country, laws of, the government, but the biggest thing that the soldier has is to know what is right and what is wrong. When should I kill, when should I not? If every soldier in this world is aware of that, even if they were to get an order to go and kill civilians, they should know, they should be aware of that. I'm killing civilians. Government's not going to pay for it. I will pay for it in my next 10, 20 lives, 100 lives. I mean, that's more of a philosophical discussion than, astrological discussion. But in this period, you will see governments calling upon reserves, the reserve soldiers who are just registered, but they're probably doing either civilian duties or they might be just at the camp. They could be called upon to go somewhere to protect something or to dominate something. Especially when Mars goes into the Dhanishta Nakshatra, there's going to be a lot of bullying from powerful countries. Whether it's North Korea, United States, Russia, whichever country is known as very aggressive. And US loves to go and just conquer everything for money and economics and oil and prices and whatever the thing that you think of on a conspiracy level. Any country that is known as a bully, that bulliness will become extremely strong because now Mars is not protecting, it's becoming a bully because it's conjunct Ketu. Now, what is a remedy for, well, it's not really a remedy, it's more of balancing the energy out. Okay? Little things make a difference. Little things make a difference. And I've actually had this reading now for a while on my website about how small items within the home, certain things within the home, do change the vibration, and without doing something more expensive in your life. So with the Mars, as it transits, in the sign of Capricorn, especially having, obviously, most of the Indian people have Ganesha in their home. Ganesh is the image of the elephant. So having like elephant statue or Ganesha within the home, painting of elephant, it kind of like protects your aggressive energy to going out and just destroying things. Because remember, elephant is also connected to Bharani of protection. Elephant only is aggressive when it wants to protect things. It just doesn't go always out and tries to kill everything that it sees. Only when it has to protect the herd. So you become the elephant with that energy. You are, okay, I am going to be able to control my anger. I'm going to be able to control myself within. I am here as the largest mammal and I don't need to show my aggression because I am already big. But if you come after my herd, then I'll activate my Mars and Ketu that is happening. So just this simple thing may actually bring, and I see this in my own life in the people that I've suggested. See, when I say something out here in the open, that means I've already tried it with people personally, whether it's relatives, whether it's friends, whether it's actually people who are getting some other consultation and I would advise on something. The energy is very, very strong with that, especially when it moves into uh, Saravan. It's great to clean your shoes. Clean your shoes, walk your shoes, and also walk. Walk, take long walks. That will calm your Mars and Ketu aggression. During Dhanishta, if you have any musical items, keep them clean within the home, or even get like a musical instrument that can be put it as a decorative item. All these things are balancing things, and especially the number one thing that I also see is good smells. With Mars and Ketu, that represents flesh. It represents also rotten flesh. Rotten flesh, what is it? It makes you vomit. It's smelly. It stinks up the whole thing. So good smell balances those things out. This doesn't mean that you're no longer gonna suffer the karma that you're supposed to get. Whatever you're supposed to get, you will get. But what you are going to bring out from the ascendant position of these two planets, that's what will be balancing out. This is why from the ascendant transit, it becomes important. It's just as equally as important as Gochar, because there you are able to control one aspect. From the moon, is just like, hey, this is my logbook. I have to deal with these debts, give and takes of debts. So look at it, and obviously, if you do not know, what your ascendant is, where your moon sign is, what your moon ascendant is, just go to astrologycares.com. On the shop section, you'll see the option 5 and beyond with the report. But in this period, the main thing is just be aware. Awareness that this is happening. I see people standing in line with me becoming aggressive. I should not become aggressive, because then it's like they're the oil and you're the spark, and when those two things come together, it's like that explosion that occurs. So when you are aware of it and somebody's being the spark, don't be the oil or the petroleum. Get away from it. Let your ego be hurt. They say something to you nasty, you don't need to be out there trying to be a man or trying to be this. Unless, of course, they try to hurt your family, someone you're with, then you have to do that protection, and then you go out there and you have to be aggressive. But if somebody's just being aggressive, walk away. Show your see, remember, there's a saying, okay? There's a saying in Hindi, which I'll also explain in English, is that they say that झुकना इंसानियत होती है और अकड़ना मुर्दे की पहचान होती है. Meaning, if you bend in front of someone, if you bow in front of someone, you're alive. You're able to bend yourself. Okay? You're able to show that you're human. But when you're egoistic, and you become tough and you become very stiff, that's a dead body. That's a dead body. A dead body is a stiff thing. Why are you trying to be a dead body with showing ego and being stiff? No, bend and show that you are alive, you're human. That saying is so important in this particular conjunction, because everybody's going to be either one's going to be a spark, the other's going to be a petroleum. That's how people are going to be running into each other during this time. So don't be a spark in front of a oil, and don't be an oil next to a spark, because that's when fire will come. That's when that aggression will come. Okay. So anyway, guys, hopefully this is making you more aware of what you can see around you. Because especially remember, Saturn is also retrograde in Purvashada Nakshatra of warmongering. Saturn is a malefic planet. We know Saturn is a good planet, but Saturn is also a natural malefic planet. It is to do what it's supposed to do. Disasters come, right? Floods happen, fire happens. So not every planet is going to be a good person in the humanistic nature all the time. They're going to do their own thing. They're going to do their thing. So with Mars and Ketu being in Capricorn, Saturn being retrograde in Sagittarius, especially in Purva Ashada Nakshatra, Mars is in Uttara Ashada Nakshatra, early, later victory, aggression, war mongering, war sagas. So don't become part of a war saga in this time period. So just remember, don't try to be the spark, don't try to be the oil. And that's where you will find that, wow, this actually is true. This actually is working. I can actually control the transits. I can actually control, because remember, it's all about you. You are the one who become the aggressor. But remember, from the moon, if you are to get something, you will get it. Okay. But again, even from there, like I said, certain things will help you. Certain things will, so especially like having just good smells around you. Don't let that flesh become rotten with this conjunction, because that again is not a good feeling mentally. Okay. So anyway, guys, we will see you later. If something other interesting comes in, make sure to go to Kiara's channel, my main channel, and make sure to hit the bell button so you don't miss this live or the other feeds that I might do sporadically. I might just do them. And also, I'm going to be doing the Pisces Navamsha video today. Pisces rising on my main channel, Kiara's channel. But then we're going to start with the actual planetary placements of the Navamsha. Very simple. It's like, it's just very simple and short videos. Those are like, you'll just get things. Okay?